The coast is an area of interaction between the land and the ocean. India has a long coastline that touches 8 major states. Due to the complex of ecosystem, natural resources, and human activities, the pressures on coastal areas are increasing every day. These pressures are even leading to environmental imbalance and collapse. Hence, these areas need management and regulation, and for policy purposes are known as the coastal regulation zones.
We all know that we have coastal regulation zone in the country, and a couple of states like Maharashtra and Kerala also has river regulation zone. So we, as a scientific community, we are basically asking, has the CRZ and these regulations helped us, and if at all, in what way they have helped? So the questions being asked are, is it based on science? Is it based on local needs of the people where it gets applied? Is the social aspect, which was the basic concept of keeping these rules, are being looked at?
I am Chairman of Maharashtra Coastal Zone Management Authority as well as Principal Secretary Environment in Government of Maharashtra. This is my basic premise from which I will start, that urban development, urban management as well as industrial development of the state can be, and it is possible to manage it in and through the environmental laws, and they should not be treated as hindrance to development at all. The coastal regulation zone CRZ notifications for the first time were issued by Government of India, Ministry of Environment and Forest in 1991, as you all know. And then it got amended and notified again in 2011. Importantly, how will you decide the CRZ areas? Salinity criteria has got some scientific basis to it, whereas Bund doesn't have. Artificial bunds you can create and stop seawater ingress in some of the areas and say that this is the high tide line. Maharashtra has got 6 districts coastline passes through, and along with sea coast there are creeks and creeklets, mangroves, and lots of complications. All these environmental laws are evolving and they are yet not settled, and that is also true in the field of coastal zone management also. That's why there are so many deficiencies also in the CRZ notification 2011, and let us accept it. If I have to give example to this, let me tell you that why a CRZ notification prohibits and differentiates between 2 buildings if it has been made, if it is dangerous, declared dangerous before a particular date and after a particular date. Now, development control rules of a city talks about permissibility of certain floor spaces, how much you can construct. Now, this type of thing, why a CRZ notification should deal with? Intention, to my mind, should be very, very simple, and that whatever is going to be built upon or constructed or developed in the CRZ area is not going to adversely impact the coastal waters, coastal marine life and coastal biodiversity. I think that should be enough. Why say that in America, in United States, you have in Manhattan, by the side of the sea and river, 13 floor space index, whereas you stop in Mumbai a floor space index of 1 or 1.33 or 2 or 2.5. If the city wants to develop and grow, it doesn't have land. So vertical development is only possible in such a city. Then you should be saying that you are going to have, say, zero pollution load. You are going to have the CRZ notification, to my mind, should have insisted long back that no development will take place in the city if you are not managing your sewage 100%. It's there that we should be insisting much more, and we should be stricter than on insisting upon FSI restrictions and other things. So my point is that 1991 to 2011, I don't think that Mumbai Municipal Corporation has even reduced 1 liter of sewage going to the sea in these 20 years. In fact, it has increased because the population has increased in the city. So what is the use of such a notification if it is not able to compel a city to treat its sewage properly, grey water and black water, and then release it in the sea? Complete sea coast of Mumbai is polluted, highly polluted. It smells. The smell is of sewage. But as I have said, it is an evolving process, and ministry is, I have found at least, ministry is very open to new suggestions and ideas, and that's what is expected from this gathering. Environment department per se is also a very, very nascent department. It's a very small department in every state. Doesn't have that much of machinery to go and see. The pollution control boards were created only for water pollution in the beginning, to implement water pollution control acts. But now the same machinery is employed for all other acts also, and they are falling short of. Notification says so, that you will prepare an action plan, you will prepare this thing within such a period. But what about implementation? The implementation part has become very, very poor because the punishment is too less. Maximum fine is 1 lakh of rupees. For a project of 100 crores, 200 crores, 1 lakh rupees is nothing. Awareness about the technical issues of CRZ is very, very less in this country. The level is very less. Even I have found people in government, outside government, who are implementing, they just make a taboo of things instead of reading and knowing. And not many books also have been written about CRZ and coastal management zone and all those things in a common parlance, common language, so that common people can understand that.
So any thoughts on the monitoring part? Because when somebody says that you are committed to, let's say, treating something or ensuring that you are not releasing sewage, wastewater, etc.
Let me say that is the weakest link in this whole chain of environmental management in this country. Because of the punitive sections, the regional offices of MOEF on paper are supposed to monitor the implementation of the environmental clearances being granted by even the state level bodies. But they are also ill-equipped, inadequate staff at that level. Industries can be disciplined. There is a proper machinery for that, and I think some of the pollution control board people who are sitting here should agree to whatever I am saying. But the latest laws like coastal zone management or the environment impact assessment, the environmental clearances which are being granted, there it's the weakest link which is there, and I agree with you. punishment should be severe, but it should not be on flimsy grounds. It should be really for something like 100% treatment of sewage or 100% treatment of solid waste management, so that the environment doesn't get polluted because of that.